You really, really should have waited. You took this fight too early.
Yo, too, we're back again with some more boxing news in the boxing world. We got some breaking news. Gary Jonas, LamontRoach's promoter, says this rematch is a done deal. It's over with. It is going down second time around.
How soon is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to, you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big fights out there for you to get?
Stephen A. Smith has clearly said that GervontaDavis should be careful and not fight LamontRoach again.
That should have been it. That should have been a knockdown. Having said that, let me stand up. Shannon, Ocho, I got to apologize on national television to that brother LamontRoach. I didn't give him much of a chance in this fight because I thought he was the smaller guy moving up. I didn't expect him to be in the ring bigger. And from opening bell, he walked right to Tank Davis. I was stunned, and the brother can fight. I'm very impressed with LamontRoach. He put on a great performance, and he wants his love on national television right now. We need to give it to him. This brother is special for the sport of boxing. He can fight, and he can take a punch.
And Stephen A. Smith recently said sorry to LamontRoach for not believing in him before his fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. At first, Smith thought Roach was too small to be a real challenge. But after watching the fight, where Roach kept pressuring Davis and even made him take a knee in the 9th round because Davis said he had hair grease in his eyes, Smith admitted
any of y'all had me getting knocked out to all this. I'm going to go back and look at y'all pages. I promise you. Promise you.
What I didn't know is that once LamontRoach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter. Because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to GervontaDavis. Walked right to him. And stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to GervontaDavis. GervontaDavis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punching, left hook, straight right. This brother LamontRoach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout artist.
But on March 1st, 2025, GervontaDavis defended his WBA lightweight title against LamontRoach at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Davis was the favorite to win because he was undefeated and known for his strong knockouts. But even though Roach was the underdog, he gave a much better performance than expected and pushed Davis hard throughout the fight.
For me, Tank Davis is fighting a minus 1,600 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. LamontRoach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. Earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money and long-term destruction of a sport.
The most talked-about moment of the fight happened in the 9th round when GervontaDavis took a knee, saying he couldn't see because grease from his hair got in his eyes. Referee Steve Willis didn't count it as a knockdown, which many people disagreed with. In the end, one judge gave the fight to Davis with a score of 115-113, while the other 2 judges scored it 114-114. This made the fight a majority draw, so Davis kept his title. But the result caused a lot of debate about whether it was fair.
Guy from a division lower moves up and gives Tank Davis his toughest fight. I thought beating him on the inside, making him miss, putting offense behind defense after making him miss, being more active. Obviously, Tank's going to have the edge in power. Tank is going to have the edge in power strikes. I think ultimately the stats spoke to that. I don't think that this was a disaster. I think it'd be strong to call it a disaster. The fight was not great up front. The fight was not great in the middle, but it was very good. Not amazing, but definitely very good down the stretch.
LamontRoach Jr. has made it clear that he wants a rematch with Gervonta. Tank Davis after their controversial majority draw on March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. One judge scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while the other two scored it 114-114. A key moment in the fight happened in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, saying something got in his eye, but the referee, Steve Willis, didn't count it as a knockdown.
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we taking?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
LamontRoach's team appealed the result, but the New York State Athletic Commission decided to keep it as a draw. Because of this outcome, GervontaDavis was removed from Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound rankings, and David Benavidez took his spot.
It ain't no timeouts in boxing. Why are you taking? You know that. You should know that. So that's the thing where I'm like confused because that's supposed to be a knockdown. That's a 10-8 round. If that's a 10-8 round, I win the fight. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that draw turned into a 115-114 my way.
Who believes he won the fight, quickly called for a rematch. He said, "I hope to be a multi-division world champion, and this is the kind of fight that will help build the legacy I want."
GervontaDavis gets a controversial draw against LamontRoach. 2025 NYC. Both men start the fight wrapped in caution tape while downloading using their powerful Intel Core processors. Tank then begins playing a game of Tom and Jerry as he scurries around the ring, baiting Roach to chase him. Lamont soon starts landing sharp counters as he times Tank, who's dropping low. But Gervonta's cannon straight left soon finds its way home like it's using Google Maps. However, Roach also continues touching Tank with counters during their exchanges. But the Baltimore native's straight left keeps repeatedly connecting like AT&T, walloping Lamont as he angles around him with the geometric brilliance of Pythagoras. By round 6, though, Davis is taking control by investing in the breadbasket like he's a Stella Doro stockholder, while also cracking Roach's Liberty Bell like they're in Philly. But at this point, Lamont's titanium-dipped chin is rearing its head.
LamontRoach Jr. added to the controversy by posting a bold and mysterious message on social media. His tweet said, "Word round the block, your all-favorite fight, Finney 30-1301, 2XX2 division champ." The post quickly caught attention from boxing fans and seemed to hint that Roach expected a win from his appeal and believed GervontaDavis's undefeated record might soon come to an end.
Performance for sure. I'm definitely happy with my performance. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won. And I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds, and even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. So, you know, I don't think there's any excuse for me not to win tonight, but that's just how the cookie crumbled.
There's a few things I want to dissect about the fight. Let's just start off with the beginning. It seemed like a little bit of a cagey opening on both behalves, both of you just trying to figure each other out. What was your initial thoughts of those first 3, 4, 5 rounds whilst you were both getting to grips with each other?
Just getting the information, seeing how he reacted to certain stuff. I'm pretty sure he was trying to do the same thing. And you know, he's an excellent fighter. He's undefeated for a reason. With a 97% knockout. I mean, it ain't that no more. But you know what I'm saying. But with a 90% knockout ratio and everything like that, you know, it take a little thinking in there. It's a thinking man's game, especially when it's on that type of level.
Critics say that GervontaDavis took a knee on purpose in the 9th round to break LamontRoach's rhythm and take back control of the fight. They believe Davis wanted a few extra seconds to recover instead of risking getting overwhelmed by Roach's strong attacks. Many fans and boxing experts see this as a veteran move meant to stop Roach's momentum.
And to go ahead and keep it real with y'all, I think that knee that Tank took was because LamontRoach was in a rhythm and GervontaDavis tried to throw this man off a rhythm. Do I believe the Murrays, Sport Waves, the Soul Glow was in his eye? Absolutely not. I believe that man Tank got nerve-eye and said, hold on, this man LamontRoach is cooking. I need to take me a quick timeout and a quick break. It's nasty. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's bad enough how hard and difficult it is to beat this man. Most fighters is weight drained. Most fighters has clauses on them. So when somebody who's coming up is able to compete with Gervonta Tank Davis, you handicap the man with trash rulings.
Davis explained that the problem in the fight came from a hair treatment he had 2 days earlier. He said the grease from it mixed with his sweat during the match, which caused his eyes to burn. In his post-fight interview, Davis showed frustration with the crowd's boos, saying he wasn't trying to cheat or change the fight's momentum. He was just reacting to the pain in his eyes.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And, you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
What the explanation has received mixed reactions from fans and analysts. Some are questioning whether the moment should have been counted as a knockdown, regardless of the reason for Davis taking a knee.
What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the, I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need, what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And, you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure. But hopefully we could get it before... Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
Well, what is?
You might see it in a minute. You definitely might see it in a minute.
What the hell happened to Gervonta Tank Davis, huh? He got some grease in his hair. It was the lady that she put too much grease in my hair, and that's the reason why I took a knee. I ain't lying. I ain't lying to y'all. Why y'all booing me for? Y'all remember the movie Coming to America? Was Gervonta Tank Davis using the Soul Glow? It's just a Soul Glow, feeling all so silky smooth. Just let it shine through, baby. That gotta be one of the most embarrassing moments in boxing history. How the hell you go down saying that the grease, know what happened at the grease? Stop, it's not funny. Why y'all booing me? I'm telling you the truth. that woman put a lot of grease in my hair. Yo, damn Tanky. Tanky, come on now.
Stephen A. Smith, known for his straightforward and sometimes bold commentary, has shared his thoughts on the controversy surrounding the Davis-Roach fight. While specific quotes from Smith aren't available in the sources, his general opinion suggests that Davis should be cautious about a potential rematch with Roach.
I gotta stand down and give mad respect to LamontRoach. Brother fought one hell of a fight. This was a damn close fight. Gervonta taking a knee should have been a knockdown. Either way, Roach has skills, fought his ass off, deserves nothing but respect. He earned the boxing world's attention tonight. He has mine. Thought he'd be too small. I was wrong.
Rematch with Roach presents a big risk to Davis's perfect record. The first fight showed that Roach has the skills and strategy to challenge Davis effectively. If Davis were to lose in a rematch, it could hurt his reputation and standing in the boxing world.
Give you my picks on 3 fights taking place Saturday night at the Barclays Center in New York City between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, Gary Russell versus Jose Valenzuela, and Sandor Martin versus Alberto Puello. Gervonta Davis uses knocks somebody out inside of 85 punches because he's clearly capable of that. But I just see this as being a kind of fight where he's going to have to run him down. He's going to have to walk him down, rather, and he's going to have to throw some punches before he ultimately catches him. And that's how I view it. So I'm going to go with more on this particular one. Next up.
Despite LamontRoach Jr.'s repeated calls for a rematch after their controversial majority draw on March 1st, Davis has made it clear that an immediate rematch is not in his plans. The fight ended with one judge scoring it 115-113 for Davis, while the other 2 judges had it even at 114-114. A key moment came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach, sparking debates over whether it should have been counted as a knockdown. Referee Steve Willis decided not to call it a knockdown, a decision that has been widely discussed.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley expressed doubts about LamontRoach's chances in a rematch before their initial fight. Lampley pointed out Davis's combination of smart boxing, southpaw style, clever footwork, and deadly killer instinct. He emphasized Davis's surprising punching power, comparing his knockouts to those of a young Mike Tyson. Lampley suggested that despite Roach being a skilled boxer, he would have a tough time against Davis's abilities.
Draw is always a mixed bag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get strong.
Advisor to LamontRoach Jr. acknowledged that Gervonta Davis is a tough challenge, calling him one of the world's top fighters. Diaz pointed out Davis's impressive record and power, but also expressed confidence in Roach's abilities. He emphasized Roach's extensive experience, including his strong amateur background and the improvements he's made since their previous fights. Diaz believes that Roach's familiarity with Davis, combined with his growth as a fighter, could be key factors in a rematch.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, for sure. You're part of LamontRoach's camp. Well, what's your official role with LamontRoach?
I'm an advisor for him.
Okay, so you guide him on how to make certain decisions?
Correct.
Okay.
We've been together for many years since his pro debut back in the days at Golden Boy, and after we both parted ways, we hooked up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting because now that you guys are not with Golden Boy, you're still together. So
absolutely,
you guys must have had a good relationship when you were at Golden Boy.
Always had a good relationship with him and his father, and obviously I'm honored and just honored to be a part of him. And when I got the call to continue working with him, it was a no-brainer for me.